So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to my very special guest. This woman has become a dear friend of mine over the last year that we have gotten to know each other. We were able to spend some time in Dallas together with not only her, but her lovely wife. We were at the A.N.K conference in Dallas, Texas, and where they shared a stage and they co-presented a very powerful segment that was had the whole audience just riveted. So she was talking about, or they were talking about their science behind behavior. Isabel, just give me 1 second, please. They conveniently say it's not rocket science, it's personality science. Did I say that right?
Oh.
Boom. So they have really identified what makes people take action. And we are committing the entire hour over to Cheri tonight, as she is the author of one of a absolute bestseller called Why They Buy. Her science is around biology, B-U-Y, ology. So the science behind why people make the decision to purchase. So I'm very excited to sit and listen. I'm going to just get my notepad out. I'm going to take a bunch of notes. So please feel free to dial in, focused. And for those of you that are watching on replay, don't watch this without a pen and a piece of paper in hand, because she's going to give you 100 great nuggets. And I hope I didn't overstate that. Very confident that you're going to get dozens and dozens of really good content out of this. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to my darling friend and author, Miss Cheri Tree. All you.
Thank you. Thank you, Stud. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you. Well, actually, I wish I could see you. These virtual platforms, you got to love it, right? So I'm talking to a computer screen, but I'm really talking to you. And thank you. If you were at the Entrepreneur Summit, I'm going to go through what I taught at the Entrepreneur Summit. And for those of you that were there, I flew all the way from Amsterdam all the way to be at your event, and then all the way back. And my total round trip took 5 days out of my trip to Europe there. So it was quite the investment of time. And the reason I did that is because I adore Robert and Cammie and really love and believe in what you guys are doing. So I'm going to share that, and we wanted to be able to share this with everyone who did not also attend the Entrepreneur Summit. So if some of you are watching and you're like, man, I wasn't there, and you maybe heard about it, I'm going to take you through it. If you've already seen it, I want it to sink in again and again. What I'm introducing you to is not like a one-time exposure. It's like the better you practice at it, like martial arts, you got to go from white belt to black belt if you want to get really, really good at making money, closing sales, recruiting people, rank advancing, kind of all of those types of things. So let me just jump into it, and we'll get started here. I'm going to share my screen. All right. Perfect. Hopefully everybody can see this okay. And let's interact together. If you guys will participate in the chat box with me, I'd love to do that. Okay, so background, here I am. This is really me. This is my name, Cheri Tree. Been featured in a lot of amazing places because we have developed something that actually works. And this is why we're passionate about helping people. What we've discovered is the secrets behind why they buy. We figured out exactly what makes a customer say yes or no, what would have them want to subscribe to your Viv Autopilot products, what would have them want to join your business opportunity and build with you. And all of that is going to be layered in our secret code word called B.A.N.K. And I'm going to introduce you to that. What I do is we teach people how to unlock the secrets, the science, and the system that can supercharge your sales up to 300%. Okay, so just kind of hear that. And as I jump into it, I want to take a high-level view of the industry. I want you guys to understand what's really happening in network marketing, Bill. Over 107 million distributors, so 107 million people around the world are saying, hey, I love opportunity. I want to join a business part-time, full-time, make some extra income. This is awesome, right? In the gig economy, this is huge. $182 billion of products and services are being pumped through that channel, which goes to show it's completely viable, right? This is not some afterthought. This is a full-blown, massive numbers here. And yet it's ridden with challenges. And these are the ones we want to expose in full transparency so that you can actually do something about it. I believe if you're ignorant, or if people on your sales teams are ignorant, that ignorance is not actually bliss in business. So 90% of network marketers earn less than $10 a week. And clearly this is not sustainable financial incomes. Average person only ever recruits 2.2 people into their business. That means they're not building the distribution channel. Obviously, that's why they're not making much money. The average person is not rank advancing. So as Robert just went through all of the different ranks, the average person is just not advancing, which unfortunately stalls out your organization. And in terms of customer retention, the average customer is only spending money with you for about 6 months before they cancel their subscription and move on to the next thing, okay? So we really want to impact and change these numbers to your favor. Now, this is what's creating a 90% attrition rate in the industry. So the industry is ridden with a whole bunch of churn and burn. If you actually do close the sale, which is like awesome, you're losing them right out the back door, which is very, very frustrating. And most people just give up. They just don't have the bandwidth to keep people. So number one reason for failure, let's just nail it spot on so we can actually do something about it, is simply lack of training. Lack of the right type of training, the type of training that moves the needle. Now, there's a very big difference between product training and understanding everything about Viv, the autopilot product, your compensation plans, etc. That's one thing. I'm talking about business training and the type of training that actually will drive revenue and success into your business, okay? So what we do in partnering up with Viv, we just became the strategic training alliance for the whole company. And our whole methodology and our training platforms are designed to optimize your Viv business and help you maximize your Viv results in 4 key areas. And you can see them right here on the screen if you'll take a look at them. First is revenue. We want to help you make more money, right? Second is recruiting. We want to help you build a bigger business, a bigger distribution channel. Third is rank. We want to help you actually move your business forward, and leadership development. How do you move the businesses forward of your sales organization, your team, and of course, retention? How do you not only close the sale to win customers, but how do you actually keep them, right? And there's a lot of leaders who realize that retaining the customers and retaining your team members is actually far more important than getting new ones coming in, right? Bird in the hand concept. So I want to show you the B.A.N.K methodology, B.A.N.K, designed to increase your sales, your conversion, your retention, your recruiting up to 300%. And I'm going to demonstrate that as we go. Now, first, let's talk about sales. Sales is typically one of those words that in network marketing people don't like. They don't want to be classified in sales. And yet, Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, says, hey, listen, the ability to sell is actually the number 1 skill in business. Not the number 2, not the number 3. It's actually the number 1. So I want to help you get very, very comfortable with it. If you don't like the word sales, simply replace it with the word influence as an example. If you want to be more influential, if you really believe that the Viv autopilot product is in your customer's best interest to save money, to have more awareness, etc., then of course that creates the sales possibilities, right? Selling isn't about manipulation or doing anything against the customer's will. This is about making their life better. The only failure then at this point would be the failure to close the sale, or maybe the failure to enroll them in your business and create the possibilities that they're looking for with an amazing financial outcome and lifestyle. So the challenge is in traditional sales or business, if you've had any training whatsoever, is that most people are completely being misled. And they're being told that sales is a numbers game. And they're being lied to. And they're being told that in order to get more yeses, you have to get more no's, right? You can fill in the blank. If you've ever heard this before, this is standard training that most people in network marketing get. And I want to just open your eyes and tell you, do not buy into that. It is a lie. The truth is, in order to get more yeses, you actually have to get more yeses. So again, this is where I say it's not rocket science, guys. It's personality science. And I'm going to show you how to actually get more yeses, making the Viv opportunity easier than it's ever been before, okay? And this is where it starts to get exciting. So the secret. for those of you that are taking notes, the secret is that sales is not a numbers game. Sales is a people game. So if you really want to get good in your Viv business, you got to get great with people. And not everybody is good with people. I'm going to show you how to get a lot better. So I love the question. Is it possible for one idea to change the world? And I want you to type in the chat box, yes. You know, put the word yes if getting yeses would be a game changer, right? Like if one idea could change your world, okay? So participate with me. All right, so if you're with me, then I want to introduce you to that one idea that can change your world, and that idea is called B.A.N.K. Now, what is B.A.N.K? If you're hearing it for the first time, let me introduce you to it. B.A.N.K is personality-based, meaning it's rooted in the principles of the 4 personality types, and I'm going to take you through it, but with a very interesting twist. And I'm going to show you that twist that makes it unique and different in the marketplace. B.A.N.K is people-focused. That's the secret. And B.A.N.K is profit-driven because we want to help you drive revenue. At the end of the day, if the company's not driving revenue, then they're not-for-profit or they're non-profit, and they have to live 100% on people's charitable donations. That's not the Viv business model. Viv is a for-profit company. They want to help people, and it requires revenue, okay? Now, if you recognize Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank out there on the East Coast, she's like, hey, B.A.N.K is a remarkable, new and simple approach for closing sales that will definitely increase your income. She endorsed my book when I rolled it out. Amazing, right? Barbara Corcoran is a firm believer that this can move the needle, which is awesome. Now, here's my personal story real quick so you know why I even created this in the first place. 20 years ago when I joined network marketing, you know, you're like, hey, you have a dream. Awesome. My first year, I crushed it. I made $700. Or maybe I should say it crushed me. And over a 5-year period, I really plugged in and I rolled up my sleeves and I did everything my leaders and mentors told me to do. And I showed up to trainings and I studied books and I read them and I listened to audio programs and I did everything I possibly could to get better. And I got better. I moved my income from $700 to $72,000. Now, I don't know where you're currently at with your income right now today, but where I got to at $72,000, I was not satisfied. I was not happy with my results. The reality is I was burning the candle at both ends. I was $30,000 in credit card debt, trying to be an entrepreneur, network marketer. I was renting an apartment, couldn't qualify for a home, and I'm driving a BMW to fake it till you make it. It was a salvage title BMW. Total nightmare. And the truth is, I felt like I was supposed to be selling the dream of network marketing. I was really living the nightmare. This is when I had to take 2 steps back and kind of reevaluate. Like, let's have reality check. And what I realized is something is definitely broken. Maybe it was me that was broken. Maybe it wasn't me. Maybe it was the system. And what I ended up realizing is it actually wasn't me after all, and it's likely not you. It's the system. And that's where I kept hearing the system giving broken advice about go for no, and sales was a numbers game, and you know, the churn and burn of it all. And I said, you know what, that's not the game I want to play. So I changed the game, and this became a game changer. And as I built the B.A.N.K prototype as an experiment, because I didn't even know if it would work. But what happened within a year, my income jumped from $72,000 to over $500,000. Just ask yourself and type the word yes in the chat box if you would like to experience these results for yourself this year, right? So type the word yes if you would love to experience a nearly 700% increase in your revenue this year, okay? And ask yourself, would I be willing to do whatever it takes if I could see the needle move 7x? And it's pretty obvious, right? And within 3 years, my income was up over that $1 million mark. So when you hear people saying making $1 million, most people it's just a fantasy. For me, this became my reality. And when I realized that the secret sauce was B.A.N.K, all of a sudden I got very, very passionate about it. And I started teaching it and training it to my entire sales organization. I personally, as a leader, made it mandatory in my entire downline. And their results started to jump through the roof. And so I had people who had never made $100,000 in network marketing start making $100,000, $250,000, $500,000, and even $1 million in less than 12 months working with me. But the one rule that we had on our team was you had to use B.A.N.K. Now, there's people who have heard of B.A.N.K or know of B.A.N.K, but they're not using B.A.N.K, and that's the difference. So B.A.N.K only works when you use it, okay? You can't just know about it and think, oh, I've heard of B.A.N.K, it should work for me. No, that's not how B.A.N.K works. So I'm gonna show you what B.A.N.K is, how to leverage it to drive insane profitability into your business and ultimately get more of whatever you want, okay? Whether that's money, time, etc. And part of my story was as I started crushing it, you know, they started featuring me all over the place in magazines. Here I am in the magazine. I'm the one in the middle right there. It shows my income at $2.9 million. I started getting asked to speak and teach this all over the world and in many different company conferences, conventions. I started keynoting on really big stages with Tony Robbins, Susie Orman, Robert Kiyosaki, you know, Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, Les Brown, Sir Richard Branson. I mean, millionaires and billionaires, because I had created the B.A.N.K system and it was working for thousands of people. We got clients in over 100 different countries, okay? So I really want to commend Viv for saying, hey, we want to partner with this because this is the secret sauce that can really supercharge your business. I've gotten invited to speak and teach at Harvard. We had formal studies done for those of you that say, hey, is this scientifically validated? Yes. We have a white paper to prove it. And what they came back and said, the B.A.N.K methodology is the only methodology in the world that's been scientifically validated to predict the buying behavior of your customer in less than 90 seconds. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. What if you could actually predict the buying behavior of your customer in less than 90 seconds? Could that change the way that you get customers for Viv and the autopilot program? Could that change the way you prospect? Could that change the way you set appointments? Could that change the way that you enroll new team members? And the answer is yes, every single time. And so what every yes had in common was that I was using B.A.N.K to get it. And all of a sudden, this was like the coolest idea on the planet. I love this quote from Einstein. He says, any fool can complicate things. It takes a genius to simplify it. What I've been working on for 20 years is simplifying the sales process, making it easier than it's ever been before to get a yes instead of a no. And that's ultimately what we created with the B.A.N.K system. So let me explain how it works using science, okay? You heard Robert say it's not rocket science, but it is personality science. So personality science is not something I invented. It actually dates back thousands of years to Hippocrates, the father of medicine, who made the theory famous. And what he basically figured out was that there's 4 different types of people on this planet. And you've probably heard all kinds of different programs out there like the DISC or the MBTI or the color code or what animal are you or what astrology are you or what color are you, et cetera, okay? I want you to type in the chat box yes, the word yes, if you've ever taken one of these personality typing assessments, okay? So if you've heard of these assessments, if you've taken these assessments, just type it in the chat box for me. And the point is, I did too. And in the beginning, I was really fascinated by these assessments. You know, what I learned about myself is cool, right? But my fascination turned into frustration when I realized not one single one of these assessments ever made me more money. Not one of them ever helped me close more sales or recruit more people to my team. And I remember thinking, what is the point of me knowing what color you are or what animal you are or what astrology sign you are or what gem you are or whatever you are if it doesn't actually impact the bottom line? And that's when I had the aha moment. And I said, wait a minute. Thousands of years ago, this guy named Hippocrates figured out that there's 4 different types of people. I wonder if they make buying decisions differently. And I wonder if what makes one person say yes makes another person say no. And that's when I got the idea and I said, wait a minute. Every other personality typing assessment that was out there in the market was based in psychology. And not one of them was ever built in biology, which was the science of buying behavior. So I ended up building my own as an experiment to see if it would work. And of course it did. So what we teach you is how to crack the personality code of your customer, your prospect, your buyer, and take it to the B.A.N.K, meaning your B.A.N.K. So this is a fun play on words. And I love this analogy because when you crack the code, if you're looking at the screen here, you see this little device called a cryptex. Cryptex is a combination of 2 words, cryptology, which is the science of locking up secret information, And codex, which is the written script or scroll that's locked inside the device, has the secret message on it. And the whole point of the movie in the Da Vinci Code was, what is the secret message inside that device? The problem is it was booby-trapped. Think of it like a ticking time bomb. Because if you failed to crack the code correctly, what you'd crack open instead is a vial of vinegar that the scroll was wrapped around. The vial of vinegar would dissolve the writing on the scroll, basically leaving you with nothing. Well, the only way to know the secret to the Holy Grail was you had to crack the code successfully. So I want you to imagine that every single person that you deal with for your Viv business, getting them on autopilot, getting them to join your business, every one of them has a code. And what if you could crack that code? What if what was locked inside the device was exactly what to say to them to get a yes instead of a no? I want you to type in the chat box the word yes again. If you would want to crack the code of every prospect that you talk to, if you knew that by cracking their code, you would be able to get a yes, they would buy your autopilot product, and they would join your business, okay? Type the word yes if you would want to crack that code. So if you're like me, I was like, yes, I definitely want to, because the no's were very, very expensive. And this is where Tony Robbins leaves a clue, right? He says success leaves clues. Here's one of them. He said, let your prospect determine your presentation. And I said, well, wait a minute. If there's 4 different types of people, shouldn't I have 4 presentations? Shouldn't I have 4 ways to introduce people to autopilot? Shouldn't I have 4 ways to introduce them to the Viv business? But yet most companies only teach you one way, and they tell you to play the numbers game, and they tell you to just go out there and dial for dollars, or post a whole bunch of stuff on social media, or pick up the phone, or go meet with people and go prospect and go put pennies in your pocket and all those things. If you've heard any of them, you're playing the numbers game. And that game is destined to make you fail. And I didn't want to fail. I was really getting burnt out, spinning my wheels, and that's not the game I wanted to play. So my thought was, if there's 4 different types of people, I'm going to have 4 different ways to present my product or my opportunity, and I'm going to see if it works. This is when I discovered the most common mistake that you're likely making. You see, the most common mistake is based on whatever your dominant personality type is. Chances are, if you go out and talk about Viv from your personality type's position, right, whatever this one is, and you meet your match, if you talk to your matching personality type, which is one of the 4, you're probably going to get a yes. That represents 25% close rate as an example. And then it occurred to me, wait a minute, if I talk to this person, the other 3 types that are different from me the same way that got me to say yes, I might be turning them off instead of on. And that's when it occurred to me, I was losing 3 out of 4 sales because I was likely saying the wrong thing to that person. I was speaking to them in the wrong code. This meant that I was leaving 75% of the business on the table by delivering the wrong message, the wrong presentation. And so the idea occurred to me that said, wow, that is a very expensive opportunity cost. And if you want to know what it's costing you, I'm going to give you a quick little example. I want you to take your last year's income, whatever your income was, take it, and then I want you to multiply it times 3. So if you made $50,000 last year, multiply it times 3, that's $150,000. If you made $100,000 last year, multiply it times 3, you're talking about $300,000 as an example. Whatever that triple number is, circle it, or in your mind, capture it. That is the amount of money you potentially lost last year not applying this science. And if you're like, whoa, you start realizing, wow, that is a very expensive mistake. So for those of you that say, I don't want to make that mistake ever again, and I don't want my sales team, my downline organization to make that mistake, then we fix the problem. And what we figured out was a way to say the right thing to the right person every single time, using the methodology of B.A.N.K. So if you picture the 4 different personality styles, they make buying decisions or they say yes for totally different reasons. It's the equivalent of speaking different languages. If you only speak 1 language instead of 4, you're only going to close 25%. But if you can learn to speak 2 languages, you're going to increase your impact 100% by doubling it. If you speak 3 languages, you increase 200% above the original language. You speak 4 languages, all of a sudden you have become maximum influential. And if you become maximum influential, this is the secret to the high performers, the ultra high performers. So if you want to get to where you're making 100,000, a quarter of a million, a half a million, a million or more, the key is to master this skill set. If you're okay making part-time, spare time, $10, $20 a week, that's okay. You don't need to learn anything. You can go out there and stumble and fumble and make a few bucks. But if you really want to build this business, then we're going to show you how to optimize, okay? So this is where we introduce you to the system, all right? The B.A.N.K system, B-A.N.K, blueprint, action, nurturing, and knowledge. What I'm going to do is just give you a quick little overview of each of the four to give you like an orientation. If you want the training, we're going to talk about how do you actually get the training? How do you roll up your sleeves and practice, drill, rehearse to get really, really good so that you can actually make money, okay? So the B in B.A.N.K stands for blueprint. This is going to be your person who's totally conservative inside the box. I use the color blue. And they have a certain set of values. And those values are what their core operating system is. So a blueprint is sitting there, like if you look at some of these words like stability, structure, systems, planning, processes, a blueprint is very structured in the way they make buying decisions. They're very risk averse. Now, the great thing for you with Viv is that these people operate their whole life on budgets and they're all about saving money. This is a perfect customer for your autopilot product as an example. So when you start learning the system, you're going to start learning how would I promote autopilot in a way that has the listening of this type of a person. And we turn it into a game. How do you even know you're talking to a blueprint, right? If this person is your friend or if they're on Facebook or you meet them at a Chamber of Commerce or a B&I meeting or something like that, right? How do they greet you? Well, they're going to probably greet you with a traditional handshake and follow formal protocols. That's how this person operates. Well, they buy for completely different reasons than, let's say, the action personality type. Now, the action personality type is totally different. If you approach the action person like a blueprint, you're going to completely turn them off. You're going to break the vial of vinegar. You're going to lose the sale. So here's the action person, totally outside the box. This is your mover, shaker, millionaire maker. They have completely different values. Again, those values are driving their buying decisions, whether or not they're going to buy from you, subscribe with you, or join you in business. They value things like freedom, flexibility, spontaneity. You go talking to them about saving money on their bills, they're probably not even interested. So they have completely different triggers. And when you start understanding what makes the action personality type say yes, which is completely different than the blueprint, all of a sudden you're starting to get an idea of, wow, this is pretty fascinating stuff. How would you greet the action? Not with a handshake. That's way too boring. You're going to greet them with a lot more animation, right? High five, knuckle bump type people once you build rapport. So totally different than the blueprints. Then you take a look at the third personality type, the nurturing. The nurturing personality type, I use this color yellow. This is like your warm, friendly, sunshine, let's go save the earth type people. They're the ones that are neither inside or outside the box. They recycle the box. And they have completely different values. So what would turn on a blueprint or turn on an action is totally separate for a nurturing. So you see the nurturing here, they value things like relationships, authenticity, personal growth, significance, teamwork, etc. And all of a sudden the reasons that they would get involved with Viv are for completely different reasons than the previous two. And you're like, well, this is kind of a conundrum. When it comes to greeting them, again, they're going to greet you differently. So if you've ever met the person that's like, oh, I don't like to shake hands, I like to hug, right? They're going to throw a big hug on you. That's a great sign that they're nurturing and they have totally specific buying triggers or tripwires. A trigger is what gets you the yes. A tripwire is what gets you the no, okay? So that's an example of the nurturing. So B.A.N, blueprint, action, nurturing, and then we end the B.A.N.K system with K for knowledge. So the K, the knowledge personality type, they want to understand everything, right? This is your data, analytical, science type person. This is the person that engineers the box. And when you look at their core values like learning, intelligence, logic, self-mastery, research and development, technology, you look at all of those and you start saying, well, gosh, I should probably speak about completely different aspects of the autopilot program or the Viv income opportunity to this person. And you're absolutely right. So what works for one completely backfires and doesn't work for the other. So you're kind of in a booby trap situation where what should you say to what person to get the yes instead of no? Speaking of which, how do you even greet the knowledge? And I started thinking about, all right, the blueprint was the handshake, the action was the high five, the nurturing was the hug. Then it occurred to me, well, should I even touch the K at all? And the answer is no. How do you greet them without touching them, with the Vulcan salute? Of course, I'm just kidding here, but they'd prefer just simply a business card. So everybody is giving you clues every day, all day. The question is, are you tuned in to recognize those clues when they're right in front of you? And then would you know how to switch it up? And would you know exactly what to say to get each person to say yes? And would you know how to avoid the things that would get you the no, right? The triggers and the tripwires. There's over 300 of them. So what we've done for 20 years is we've been collecting all of the data and all of the science on exactly what makes each person say yes or no without any manipulation. And what we do is we then train it to the sales teams so that you guys can learn how to recognize who your customer is and then how to switch up the conversation based on what gets you the yes and avoid the parts that give you the no. So at the end of the day, when you kind of pull this whole thing together, you start to realize, gosh, what's my bank code, right? What's my bank code? You start to realize, well, your customers are not just one of the four. They're not just a blueprint or an action or a nurturing or a knowledge. They're actually a combination of all four, right? So now you're dealing with a little bit more complexity in the sense that you can't just wing it on, hey, I think I can figure out their type. Think of a bank code like a PIN code, right? If you go to take out your debit card and put it in the local ATM machine, you're going to be required to enter a 4-digit PIN code. Well, you got to enter that PIN code in the exact right sequence if you want money to come out. But your customer is the exact same way. You've got to communicate to them about Viv in their exact sequence if you want a yes to come out in the form of they want to subscribe or they want to join your business. So the bank code becomes critical to the entire process. So then the next question becomes, well, how many bank codes are there? Well, there's actually 24 codes. Well, what that means mathematically is that you have a 1 in 24 chance of saying the right thing to your customer. So now you start looking at the odds and you're like, well, geez, that's not very good odds. You're right. You have roughly a 4% chance of getting a yes. You have roughly a 96% chance of getting a no. So if you're a leader in Viv, compound this across your entire sales organization, now all of a sudden it makes sense where the dysfunction is coming from. It's not that Viv isn't good or that autopilot isn't amazing or the income opportunity isn't incredible. It's just that 96% of the time the wrong messages are going out and the inevitable happens. You're going to get more no's than yeses. So we wanted to cure this. I want you to type in the chat box yes in all capital letters if you're really enthusiastic about this concept. How many of you would absolutely want to fix this problem for you and your business by learning how to get a yes? And oh, by the way, what if you could crack your prospect's code in less than 90 seconds, okay? So type that into the chat box if you would like to get a yes in less than 90 seconds. Just start to imagine what that could do for your business. Now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick so that I can come see your chats, because when I'm in a live environment, I can't see you, okay? So here I am again on your screen, and I'm seeing the chat boxes come in. Okay, so you're all sitting there saying yes, 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 okay? I'm going to give you a link, and this link is I'm going to show you a secret way that we can crack someone's code, okay? And actually, let me show you first the old school way of how we did it, right? So let me share my screen real quick. This is interactive, so I'm playing with you guys. That way we can have some fun together. So how I came up with the ability to crack someone's code in less than 90 seconds was I actually created a set of 4 cards, the bank cards, and I would hand them to my customer. And I came up with an exact script of what to say to them to have them do me a favor. And I'd hand them the cards and I'd ask them to sort them in order. And then I asked them to take a look at the cards, sort them in order based on what was most like them to least like them. And they'd go through them. And I told them, this is going to help me serve you better, save us both some time. Then I'd shut up. And what would happen every single time, 100% of the time, is the person cracked their code and had handed it back. And now I'd be staring at their bank code, and with our training, I now knew exactly what to say to them to get a yes instead of a no. And this was the coolest thing ever, because if you really love the people that you're talking to, wouldn't it be amazing if in less than 90 seconds they simply revealed what their code was, and then you knew what to say to them that got you a yes instead of a no? So all of a sudden, people love doing this. And then I started having, as business started to expand globally and over the internet, I had people that were holding up these cards on the internet like this right here on the camera saying, okay, tell me when you're done looking at this one. And then they would be like, they'd hold up the next one and they'd say, okay, tell me when you're done looking at this one. And they'd go through the 4 cards. And I said, you know, there's got to be a better way. What if we could actually do this online? Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen again. And I'm going to come back to the chat box. And I want you guys to type the word yes again if you would like the ability to crack someone's code online. And if you want to see a demo of how that actually works, type the word yes. Yes, 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 yes. If you say, I would love, before I have an appointment, remember what Tony Robbins says, where he says, let your prospect determine your presentation. What he's saying is, do not talk about Viv. Do not talk about autopilot. Do not talk about the Viv business until you've cracked their code. Why would you? Right? You have a high probability of saying the wrong thing. So then I was like, okay, well, this is cool. So how could I crack their code? If I'm face-to-face, I can use the cards. What about when I'm not face-to-face? Or what about if I want to prepare for my appointment adequately? Most people are not prepared. 9 out of 10 people reveal they're not prepared for an appointment. Why would you do that to yourself, right? So I'm going to give you guys a link, and I'm going to show you. We created an online version of this called Bank Pass, where you can actually shoot someone over a link and you can actually crack their code before you even meet with them. I'm going to give you the link right here, which is crackmycode.com/Viv. And I just typed it into the chat box for you guys, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to click on the link and go ahead and do this exercise, and I'll walk you through this. If you've already done it, perfect, then you know how to do it. If you have not done it, I want you to go ahead and crack your code. And I want to show you how this works and how simple it is for customers to go through that, okay? So this is a really cool way to actually show someone how to crack their code, and I'll show you how this works here as you go to the link. Okay, so you can actually click on that link and you're going to go to a website where you're going to see these exact 4 cards, these images, and you can drag and drop them into your exact order. Okay, so let me do a quick crack my code. There I am. So I'm going to do a quick screen share my screen, and I'm going to go to the website right here. Okay, so you guys can all see my screen. All right, so I'm on crackmycode.com/Viv. And if you notice up at the top, it says invited by Viv, because this is their custom link. And now you can scroll down and you can actually drag and drop. So for example, my code is I'm action first, I'm nurturing second, I'm knowledge third, and I'm blueprint last. And that's my bank code. I'm A.N.K.B. Okay. And by the way, this is totally cool. If you look at this drop down here, it's in English. You can translate it into several different languages that we've done if you're doing business anywhere else. And there's also icon cards. Let me show you what those look like. That would switch it to graphics instead of words. And this works really well if you're cracking the code of children in your family or whatnot. It's kind of fun. So I'll switch back to English for this. And then you're just going to fill in your information. Well, when you fill in your information here, your first name, last name, country, email, etc., it's really quick. This is all less than 90 seconds. Click agree. What we're going to do is we're going to send you guys a free bank code report. That bank code report is going to tell you all about you. And this is cool. So now imagine using this tool for lead generation. Let's say you want to get some really amazing people for Viv. And let's say that you figured out that your target market, you can find them on LinkedIn and these certain groups, right? Like let's say there's gig economy groups on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, etc. And let's say that these gig economy group people are looking for additional opportunities. So let's say that you want to go fishing for leads in those groups. You can actually post your link up, and this is cool because this is a subscription model. Every month that you pay your subscription for Bank Pass, you're going to get the ability to use this technology, except instead of saying crack my code /Viv, you would have crack my code / whatever your username is, right? Whether that's Bob or Sue or Mary or whatever, right? Kevin, etc. And you would get your link and you would post people and you would invite them to take this fun 90-second assessment, and you'd offer them a $97 bank code report, totally complimentary, right? So they get a free gift. This is a really cool lead generation tool. So then you post that up in your specific targeted groups, and we've had people get as many as 30, 40, or 50 leads an hour that are opting in. But here's the best part. You captured that lead, and you get an email sent to you from us saying, hey, you just cracked the code of this prospect. You might not even know them. Could be totally blind lead generation. And you're going to get an email that says, hey, you just cracked the code of so-and-so. Here's their name. Here's their contact information that they're willing to share. And here's the top tips of how to communicate, negotiate, and close the sale. Good luck on your appointment. Take it to the bank. So now imagine, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. I want to get your feedback real quick in the chat box. How many of you think this could be super powerful if you could actually use this type of technology to crack the code of the people that you're talking to people about Viv? And what if you could use it for lead generation? So come on out here and interact with me real quick and let me know, like, would this be super cool? How many of you would want to try the technology and see how it works and how to help you really engage people better into the Viv conversation to get them subscribed on autopilot, or to join your business if you knew their bank code and what to say to them? Okay, so Cindy, I see your comment coming in. Would love to do this. Bill, you're saying yes. I think is it Kathy? Can't read the chat name very well. Or Kat, maybe it's just Kat. Kat's saying yes. Makeda Paul is saying yes. Kat's saying, want to try it. Excellent engagement leading to success. This is so cool. Now check this out. We just did a scientific study with B.A.N.K, and we did it for network marketing. And here's what we went and tested. We went and tested all 4 codes. So we got hundreds and hundreds of people in our sample. We have a division called Codebreaker Labs. Codebreaker Labs is our research division, and we go out and we do studies a la B.A.N.K. And we did a study specifically for the network marketing industry. We went out and surveyed, okay, so let's put them in order, right? Blueprint, action, nurturing, knowledge. We went out and did a survey, and we said, hey, for each person with their code, what is your likelihood, like your baseline likelihood, if a friend approached you about a network marketing product, what is the likelihood of you saying yes? Just baseline. And we got what those baseline numbers were for each code. Then we went back and said, okay, if we applied our B.A.N.K formulas and we actually spoke to them in their code with the triggers and tripwires that we know get the yeses and avoid the nos, does that move the needle? Here's what our results came back. In every single case, 100% of the codes were more likely to buy if you speak to them in code. And the aggregate average was they were 86% more likely to buy from you if you simply spoke to your customer in code. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. You are 86% more likely to get a yes if you deliver your Viv presentation in code. So then we went back to the baseline and we said, okay, what would be your likelihood of joining the business? Okay, so if a colleague, a friend, a family member, someone that you knew approached you to join their network marketing business, what would the likelihood of saying yes be? And we got the baseline. And then we came back and said, if we specifically used our scripts, which we did in the scientific study, right? They didn't even know we were doing this because we had to do it blind. So we went back and used the scripts on what would the likelihood be if you were joining the business, and then we identified exactly the triggers that would have them say yes, knowing our science to see if it worked. And it came back and we were freaking blown away. The data came back, and they are 176% more likely to join the business aggregate. 176% more likely if you use the bank scripts to recruit them into your business. 176% more likely. And we were like, phew. So we are getting ready to publish these results to the whole network marketing industry, and to show how when you use bank personality science in the process of talking about your products or talking about your opportunity, you're going to go up 86% to 170-something% more likely to get the yes when you simply learn to speak in code. Okay, so let me get your feedback. Like, what are your guys' thoughts about this whole concept? Were you at the Entrepreneur Summit? Like, is this mind-boggling type stuff? Because I'll show you what we're going to do for Viv. For those of you that say, hey, I want this training, I want this technology, I'll show you what our programs are. If you were at the Entrepreneur Summit, you already saw it, and you may have likely already subscribed, and we're getting ready to do full-blown trainings with you guys on the rollout. Like, this is a partnership relationship with Viv and B.A.N.K, right, with our training. But I would love to get some feedback from you real quick. For those of you that took the time to be on In With the Know live tonight, what are your thoughts related to this, or what questions would you have from anything that I've taught so far before I show you our solutions and what we're doing for the Viv team? If you have anything, you can just write them down. Cindy's like, let's go. Awesome. Right? So as you start thinking about this, like, would I use it if it got me 86% higher probability of getting yeses? Would I want my team to use it? Now you're starting to see some of the inside secrets. Christine, I see your answer. Bill, thank you. I made this training mandatory for my downline. Some of you might be thinking like, yikes, how do you make something mandatory? I told my team, if you guys want any of my time, if you want me on a 3-way call, we're going to do a webinar, if I'm going to meet your person, we're going to go to Starbucks or the office or anything, you've got to tell me the bank code of who I'm getting ready to talk to, or else I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to do it. It's not because I'm not a nice person. If you looked at my code, you'd see nurturing is actually second for me. It's because I care. It's because I got so tired of seeing the failure rates, and that's because people are just throwing blind spaghetti noodles against the wall, attempting to try to do the best thing and just failing epically. And I didn't want that to happen anymore. And so I wanted to help my team really get trained on this system. And once I did, like I said, the rest was history. I'm not in network marketing anymore. I'm only full-time building the bank company and strategically aligning with companies that are innovative and progressive in nature and not naive or arrogant. There's some companies out there that are like, oh, no outside training. No, we have everything we'll ever need inside of our company. And that's so narrow-minded. That's like when the U.S. Patent Attorney's Office came back and said, back in the 1900s, they're like, no new inventions. Everything that could possibly ever be invented has already been invented. We're no longer going to issue patents. It's like, that's ridiculous, right? I mean, there's inventions every single day. So for companies who say, hey, let's actually partner and align with the companies that are doing this for their main gig, right? Like, in this world, this is what we do. We are the bank team, and we help leaders go out there and crush it by applying personality science to the sales process, to the recruiting process, and optimizing your entire team in all 4 areas. Okay, so I see your guys' comments here. There's not a lot of you that are on here live. We're recording this, so if you're watching the recording, you didn't get to participate, but hopefully you went and did some of these exercises. So let me jump back in, and I will show you what we have come up with and how we can help, okay? And if you were at the Entrepreneur Summit, let me know, okay? And if you engaged with us, because this is an exciting time to be a part of Viv with this training here. So here's what we did. We got a really amazing endorsement from Les Brown. If you guys know Les Brown, he's awesome. And here's what he says about B.A.N.K. He's like, listen, this is a game changer for 3 reasons, right? Number 1, this is going to strengthen your confidence. Imagine having more confidence if you automatically know what to say to your people to get a yes. your self-esteem is going to go up, your confidence is going to go up, and across your whole sales force. Number 2, expand your selling skills. So whatever skills you have, and most network marketers don't even have any sales skills, we're going to teach those to you step by step. And number 3, the direct result is dramatically increase your income, AKA take it to the bank, which is the fun play on words. So using the system was key. So what we did as a company is we built a whole solution, a whole suite of solutions for network marketing companies designed to optimize your business, maximize your result in 4 key areas. Remember, revenue, recruiting, rank, and retention. And I want you to put yourself 1 year into the future. Let's say it's the year 2020, okay? We just hit June 2020. I want you to imagine what your business could look like if you had a sales team that was completely optimized. If they were going out there and crushing it, driving massive revenue, massive number of subscriptions. What if you had hundreds or thousands of people that were subscribed to Autopilot on your team? Okay, what would that do for you and your team? Now imagine that you actually have thousands of people on your team from the recruiting. See, recruiting is all about distribution. How do you get more people to move that product into the market? Viv could have gone traditional route, hired a sales force, or they went the network marketing route, which is word of mouth marketing. Word of mouth marketing only works if you build a distribution channel. Now let's imagine that you've got thousands of people and thousands of subscriptions. Now let's imagine the ranks and the leadership development. You don't want to have to run an adult daycare babysitting everyone. You want to actually be able to run your business where it runs itself, right? That's the point of independent contractors. So rank is about moving people through leadership. What if, as Robert McFadden was going through all of the ranks in the company, what if everybody that's hitting all of those upper ranks and getting pay setters, et cetera, what if they were all on your team? So what if you were breaking new ranks constantly throughout your whole organization and you're really developing leadership and you're creating stability in your business so that you can actually create massive passive income streams? Part of the reason that you wanted to do the business side, right? And now I want you to imagine a year from now what retention could do for you if all of that hustle and grinding that you did in the beginning actually paid off, and that there was a stickiness factor that had your customers stay ever subscribed to Autopilot. And imagine that your team didn't quit and join the next thing, which they've statistically proven to do every 90 days. Someone's quitting and joining the next thing, right? Which unfortunately is right now plaguing your organization or your future organization. What if they actually stayed and called Viv home? Now, if that was your business a year from now, would that be a game changer? And I'm going to stop sharing my screen again because I want to see your comments. I want you to write the word game changer if that would be a game changer for your business. Would it be a game changer if you could actually drive revenue, drive recruiting, drive rank, and increase retention in your business? Okay, so you guys are all typing the word game changer. Some of you are putting major game changer. Some of you are using all capitals. I love your enthusiasm, and you can tell a lot about the code just based on your response. Okay, it's kind of fun stuff, right? So this is a total game changer. And now the idea is, how do we get everybody on the training? How do we optimize the whole sales force? At the end of the day, this is where you have to sit there and say, all right, first of all, am I going to lead by example? Do I want this for me? And then do I want this for my sales team? Remember back when I was building my business, I said, guys, this is mandatory, or you can go join with another leader. Okay. So you sit there and say, all right, like Kat, I saw your comment here. Let me see. Kat, you said you were at the summit and you enrolled in our training. So it's brilliant. So all of a sudden, if the standard of working with you on the Viv team is you got to get bank trained, you got to get optimized in the 4 R's, revenue, recruiting, rank, retention, or I'll just see you at company events, right? So you start thinking about that. And remember, the whole concept of small business, the reason it works is when people take responsibility and when you have accountability. If you're just like, oh, I'll babysit you. You can call me 1,000 times a day. You can blow up my phone. You can interrupt my meals. You can ruin my vacations. That's not the business you want to be in, right? So this is about how do you run a really good business and how do you empower people to be responsible, independent, and successful all at the same time. So what I did was I built a system. System is an acronym, right? Save yourself time, energy, and money. I did not want the business to become codependent upon me. I did not want to be the common denominator of if you had Cheri Tree on the phone, she could close your sale. But if you don't have Cheri Tree on the phone, yeah, you didn't close the sale, you didn't get the recruit. That is not duplicatable. That is not scalable. And at the end of the day, you'll end up burning out and saying it's not worth it, okay? So the only way for this to really be effective is to get everybody totally optimized on the system. So what we did was we partnered up with Viv and we said, let us be the outsourced company that's partnered with you, creates a co-branded training platform that allows us to train the Viv sales force, okay? Now, because you guys are all independent, there's an investment, but investment is only worth it, right, when there's an ROI. There's no ROI, I would say don't do it. If there's an ROI and you're like, wow, by doing this, I could actually make more money, close more sales, have more time off, and build a better team with longer, sustainable, massive passive income, I'm in. And that's why so many of you pulled the trigger and said, I want to sign up. But many of you also didn't attend the Entrepreneur Summit, which was, don't miss that again, right? Big decisions are made at big events. So we wanted to create the possibility for those of you that did not get access to it to say, hey, I want in, because we're going to start doing some really cool things with everybody who's on the system, okay? So let me show you what that is and how to get started, and then I'll answer any questions at the end if you have some questions, okay? Let me go back to sharing my screen. Here we go. All right. So optimize your business in the 4 R's. One of the first things we did is we invested multi-million dollars into this tech platform called the Vault. The Vault is our way of delivering all of our training virtually across your entire sales force, okay? So inside the Vault, what happens is when you unlock the Vault, and there's a one-time fee to unlock the Vault. And then after that, for a low monthly investment, $29 a month, you get unlimited ongoing access to whatever Vault program you unlocked. And each level has different courses, okay? So it's virtual interactive. There's more than 40 hours of content, virtual interactive videos. And it's cool because it's all built in 5 to 10 minute increments. But we lead you through a progression, and it's interactive, meaning I'm going to ask you questions like I'm kind of doing on a live, except if you answer differently, the video paths would queue up a different learning experience, completely customized to you. It's so cool. It's got all the tracking and accountability. Our system knows exactly how many times you've logged in, what courses you've taken, how much time in the system. Did you pass? Did you fail? Did you complete the entire course? Did you print your certificate? All of it. And we do that because if we don't track, then you got a whole bunch of randomness happening. So we built the Vault into 3 main levels. The first level is called Core. And inside Core, we're going to teach you, and we're going to focus on what we call the bank fundamentals. We're going to really teach you everything about bank and how to sell to the 4 personality types. So the in-depth dive on B.A.N.K and their buying styles and what triggers the yes and the no. Okay. You're also going to get all of the ability to crack the codes so that you can start creating lead generation and start cracking codes for all your people. You're going to get the sales reports on how to speak to the customers, fast start training, etc. All built into this. Some fun gamification and KPIs. KPIs are our key performance indicators, and we're gonna start measuring you on the 4 R's: revenue, recruiting, rank, and retention. So now imagine, again, when we measure and when we show accountability, performance improves, right? Plus you get access to our private Facebook group, our Codebreaker Club, that only our customers get access to. So this whole vault is a $3,000 vault, okay? Now, the Pro Vault is added on top of that. So Pro includes everything that's in Core plus a whole lot more. In the next level of bank, we start training you on speed coding. So let's say you're talking to someone on the phone, or you run into them on the street, they walk into the elevator, your office, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to teach you how to crack the code, even if you haven't used the cards or sent them a link yet. So if you're like, my spidey senses tell me I think they're this code, we're going to help you get really good at it with our speed coding course. We're also going to give you access to our relationships course, which now takes bank to your personal life. How would you use bank in communicating with your spouse effectively? If you're single, ready to mingle, we're going to show you how the different bank codes completely impact the dating process. Maybe what type of a bank code you want to be with. Also your children from a parenting perspective. Parents have, if you have multiple kids, you have different codes. How would you parent them differently? So this is cool because now this is impacting the personal side of your life, which is creating value for you and your team, not just the business side. We're also going to be measuring you in the 4 R's and training you in revenue, recruiting, rank, retention. Okay, so that's going to be in here. We're also going to give you downloads. Our whole bank program available on audio. You can download it into your smart device and keep it forever. You can listen to us at the gym, at the airport, on planes, etc. And that way you're getting really, really good at speaking in code, okay? We're going to teach you how to sell and the whole sales process, because a lot of people either hate sales or they're not good at it. You know, one of my friends talks about, you know, how the average person sucks at sales. And I'm not trying to be insulting. I just want to help you get better. Your customers deserve to have you get better, right? So all of that is included here inside the Pro Vault. Pro Vault is $5,000 package, and then our last vault is Platinum. And by the way, we have much better pricing for you here at Viva. I'm just showing you what the retail value is if you were to come and buy all of this stuff separately from our company, okay? Now, inside the Platinum Vault, the Platinum is the biggest vault. It unlocks all of our courses, and any new content that we ever add in the future goes inside the Platinum Vault, okay? 9 out of 10 people invest in the Platinum Vault. It's just by far the best investment. I'll show you why. First of all, more courses. We give you access to the Power Scripting course. Power Scripting is the holy grail. It's how you sell anything to anyone. It's how you communicate in all 4 styles. Like the Power Scripts for Viv. How would you sell the autopilot program to a blueprint? How would you sell the autopilot program to an action? Totally different. Those Power Script formulas are all inside this package. We're also going to give you access to Coin. Coin is called Center of Influence Networking. How do you go out and network with the most influential people so that you don't just close one sale, but you can close an entire account? For those of you that are working on bigger accounts, this is huge. Okay. In addition, and one of my best series of courses for leaders is we give you access to the Millionaire Map. The Millionaire Map is specifically 12 different micro courses, over 12 hours of content, and all of the workbooks on exactly how to build a 6 or 7 figure business. So if you want to make a minimum of $100,000 a year with Viv, or up to over $1 million, we give you the exact game plan on how to do that. All of that is inside of this vault. So Platinum includes Core, Platinum includes Pro, and then Platinum has all these additional courses and different supporting tools for it. It's a $10,000 vault easily, probably double that in real life. And that's what the Platinum Vault is about, okay? Now, in addition, remember when I gave you the link of crackmycode.com. Here's the lead generation technology, and this is the ongoing subscription model, and this is what's cool, is for a nominal investment of $29 a month, you have the ability to crack indefinite, unlimited codes, okay? So remember I gave you the link, crackmycode.com/Viv, to demo it. You would be giving out a very similar link to all of your customers or your prospects with your specific access code at the end. Instead of Viv, it would be your access code. And now you're capturing all of those leads into the dashboard. And on top of that, our system is going to send a free gift out to every one of your customers, a bank code report. And that's one of their incentives for cracking their code, right? They get a $97 report that they don't pay for because you sent them your code, okay? But we didn't build it for this. We didn't build it to go kick out personality reports to your customers. We built it for the reports that we send to you, the sales reports that you get. Now imagine that your customer, your lead, your friend, your prospect cracks their code with your link. You're going to get a report on here's the exact tips of how to communicate, negotiate, and close the sale based on this person's bank code. You know, good luck on your appointment, take it to the bank. And all of a sudden you've been supercharged and empowered to say the right things to them, to have them want to say yes to the product autopilot, for example, and say yes to joining your business. And all of that information comes into our CRM type dashboard. It's an online dashboard, not a full-blown CRM, but it's an online dashboard. And it has the ability to capture all of those codes inside the system that you're going to get access to. And now you can actually look at your pie charts and you can see, gosh, what are the codes that I'm cracking? Who are the people I'm connecting with? Who am I not connecting with? This is going to help you get much better at speaking the bank game, okay? And we've got countless testimonials. This comes from a guy named Josh. He's not even in Viv, and he's like, listen, this is a game changer. His testimonial here, you can see understanding why people buy versus the same old sales tricks will revolutionize your business. I've been using Cheri's teachings for years and made millions, okay? We got tons of people in the network marketing space that are using this, and now for the first time ever in Viv history, you get access to this at very special pricing. So let me show you what we created with Viv. I'm going to show you what the packages are, what the special discount is. We're running a limited time promotion for Viv for you guys that say I'm in, and then we're going to show you kind of what happens next. So to unlock the vault, the core vault with everything that I described, that $3,000 package, $299 down, that's the fee to unlock the vault, and simply $29 a month. For $29 a month, you get ongoing access to the vault, plus the Bank Pass technology to keep cracking codes and generating unlimited leads every month for 29 bucks. The Pro Vault is $4.99 to unlock, and it's $29 a month ongoing for access to that vault, plus unlimited code crack leads using Bank Pass. And what's cool is Platinum is $999. It's a one-time fee to unlock the vault, and then again, the same 29 bucks a month. So whichever package you unlock, your $29 is going to give you access to that content on an ongoing basis and the ability to continue cracking codes and generating leads. So obviously the Platinum becomes the one that makes the most sense because that same 29 bucks is going to give you ongoing indefinite access to everything in Platinum. Whereas if you only unlock the Core Vault, you only get access to that vault ongoing instead, okay? And some people say, well, can I start with Core and upgrade to Pro or upgrade to Platinum? Yes. It's like buying a new iPhone. You know, when Apple comes out with the next generation of iPhone, you're going to pay for a whole new phone, even if your AT&T or your Verizon or T-Mobile bill stays the same. So you have to pay the unlock fee each time as you upgrade. Okay, there's not a prorated amount. It's a full separate fee for that vault. Now, what Viv did is they said, hey, can we negotiate based on our sales force a discount if we have you guys be our full-blown training partner? And we said yes. So here's how we did it for Viv, okay? So the $29 a month I shared with you gives you unlimited code cracks and unlimited access to the vault. And when you do it with Viv using the special coupon code, you're going to save 20%. So the Core Vault, instead of $299, drops to $239 down. The Pro Vault drops from $499 to $399. And the Platinum Vault drops from $999 to $799. Okay, so you save the most money with the Platinum Vault. And then ongoing, it's simply $29 a month to have unlimited ongoing access month to month. So the getting started, if you have not already signed up, you can see this link right here. This is a web page that was built just for your company. This is the only place that the coupon code works, is when you go to codebreakerds.com. That's our company just for the network marketing channel. Codebreaker DS. DS stands for direct sales. So Codebreaker direct sales, codebreakerds.com/Viv. That's going to take you to a private page just for the Viv group. And for those of you that have team members, you can actually send everyone this link, and anybody who signs up right now while we're running the promotion of 20% discount is going to be able to save 20% on whichever package they choose to subscribe to, okay? So I'll type this one in the chat box, and let me go ahead and end sharing my screen here. Okay, so let me take the thing. Think of any questions if you guys want to come out with anything. I'll stay on for a few more minutes, and then we'll wrap today. Let me give you the link: codebreakerds.com/Viv, and the coupon code is Viv20, and that will save you 20%. So some of you have already subscribed. A whole bunch of you did at the Entrepreneur Summit. This is really exciting because we're going to show you how to leverage these tools, these trainings, and these technologies to really, really grow your business with Viv and get the outcomes that you're looking for. So what questions do you have that you'd like to come out for? Robert, if you want to come on out, or any of you guys, if you want to post any of your questions or comments, I'm more than happy to answer them here real quick. Robert, you got any comments here?
Yeah, so I want to just throw out one thing. I've been involved in kind of a front of the room sales for a lot of years. And one of the things that proof is in the pudding, right? Your stuff, you can talk about your stuff working, or you can show your stuff works. And Cheri was a master of front of the room presentations. And it's because the core of her presentation is built on this science. And case in point, I actually watched her. If you were not at the summit, it was quite an amazing thing. I watched her presentation from a lot of different perspectives, and one of the perspectives I was watching for is, all right, if this really works, if she's really, I mean, I already knew because I've seen this process, but I just wanted to see how the audience reacted to her. And I kid you not, she had a 93% close rate. So if you were at Summit, 93 out of 100 people, I mean, extrapolate that out, but 93% close rate, it was just unreal. I'd never even seen it. It didn't matter what the price point was. I've seen people try to close stuff for $10 and not get anything near even 50%, let alone a 93% close rate. So it was one of those things that it really kind of cemented the fact that I was really glad we're in business with Cheri, and that we were really glad as a company that we found her, and that we're really going all in on this. And it's because we do believe that it's going to drive the results, and that's just it. The results are in the actions that people take. And the one thing that Cheri said to me back when we were in this negotiating process back in the early days is she said, let people vote with their money. Let people really put their money up if they see the value. And then you'll see, once the people are ingrained in that, you'll start to see that duplication. And she talked about the ROI on that investment. It doesn't matter what you charge for something. You can charge $1 million for one piece of advice. If that one piece of advice makes you $10 million, then that $1 million was a pretty dang good investment. So anyway, vote with your money. We're glad that Cheri was able to come on and kind of explain her program again. We really want a high adoption with this. We want a lot of people. We negotiated a 20% discount. This was not easy to get. Cheri does not discount her value of her product or discount her product price. Because
let me explain why. Like, we wanted to make the back end affordable, the $29 a month. But right. I see a lot of people selling training and this and that and this and that, and half of them haven't even ever made money in the first place. You know, Robert Kiyosaki says, stop taking advice from people more messed up than you. And I think that's good advice. And the other part is, I think you get what you pay for. I think if someone invests money up front, then they're committed to log in and actually going through the courses, versus if you're like, oh, it's $1 to sign up for a free trial and I'm going to do it. And then you're really not going to do it. You're just not. And that's what human nature has proved for probably centuries or millennials of time. And so what we know is that the person who invests the most, they're going to get the most. And in getting access to this type of training. And Robert, just like, here's my day. Guys, I want you to type in, I asked you a question there. I want you to type it in. What vault are you most interested in, core, pro, or platinum? And I want you to type that in. I can't see your credit cards right now. But this is first about making a commitment to your own self. Like, are you worth investing in to really grow this business? Or else you're going to keep doing what everyone does, which is spare time makes spare change, and really it'll cost you versus make you money, right? You guys all know that. These are business principles. So just today, I had 3 network marketing companies engage our firm. 3. we're meeting at the headquarters of one that's a local Southern California company who had us come out and say, hey, what would it look like to roll this out to our entire sales force? And then we had 2 separate phone calls with mega companies. These companies are doing over 100 million in revenue that are sitting there saying, hey, what would it look like if we rolled this out to our sales force? One of them booked me to come speak at their national conference in the fall, like massive, like stadium style conference, guys. And here's the point. Now you have Viv. Viv is still small. It's a newer startup company, which is awesome. Those are my favorite. Because when you can get early adoption and get people trained early on, it's way easier than teaching an old dog a new trick, right? So if some of you are saying, well, you know, I've been trying to, you know, wing it or do it, or, you know, and I got this cool example. Can I do this last thing? I know we've gone over time, but let's, you know, it's not every day I'm going to do these webinars for you guys. So let me just show you one last principle. What if you're sitting here saying like, oh, I can sell without the bank system? And I would say, you're right. Like, hello, I hope so. But it's about what the bank system can actually do to not only accelerate sales, but save time. And this is really important because time is what? Money, right? And everybody knows that. So here's the example. You guys remember this game from when you were a kid? Robert, do you remember this game?
I had one of those.
Yeah, me too. And this is what made me think of it. I actually went on Amazon and ordered these because we're going to be doing contests. The people who don't get trained on our bank system, it's the equivalent of putting a blindfold on and taking out all these pieces and then blindly trying to find the hole that this goes in and trying to shove it. And you're going to try all these different ways. And that's the numbers game. And then when you compete against the person who's bank trained, is the equivalent, Robert, of taking the blindfold off. So let's just, you know, take some of these little pieces out. And you're like, okay, I've got a prospect, and let's pretend this person has a bank code, and we tell you exactly what the code is and what to say to them to get them to join. And you're like, okay, cool. So let me find it on my thing right here, and boom, close the sale. All right, who's next? And we're like, well, we got a square. Here's their bank code. Go find it. And you're like, okay, where's the square? Oh, here it is. Boom. What else you got? And you're like, well, okay, here's another prospect who just cracked their code, came to a meeting, opted in, got you on a 3-way phone call. What do I do with them? Oh, this is an octagon. Well, how about this? Let's try shoving it right there. Yep, close that one. So all of a sudden, because you can see, like, I don't have this thing memorized. If I'm doing it the old-fashioned way without bank, it's me taking this and then literally, like, I don't know how long we'd be sitting here with me trying to figure out where it goes. And that's the frustrating part about sales. That's the frustrating part about Viv. That's the frustrating part about any company. People don't quit because Viv sucks or the product sucks or the opportunity sucks. They quit because they don't make money fast enough. So take the blindfolds off. Invest in your business. It's a one-time investment, tax deductible. Talk to your CPA, but this entire investment is tax deductible if you're running a business, right, or attempting to. And then you just simply look for the piece and you go, bam. And that's how fast bank works. And so this is why you're able to dramatically accelerate your revenues in short periods of time. And now you can do the math on what this would do for the rest of my team. So ba-di-da-di-da, like that's my deal. And for anyone who's like, no, I'm going to do it the hard way, perfect. Then go do it the hard way and don't be mad that you waste time and money and that you can't duplicate or scale this across your whole downline because it's just difficult to do.
Well, thank you so much for your time and the investment. And I'd like to add just my personal testimonial that without a system, I love the acronym. One of the notes I wrote is system, save yourself stress, time, energy, and money.
Yeah, save yourself time, energy, and money. And stress is definitely one of those things you can save. Who wants to be stressed these days?
Why add stress if you don't have to?
Right.
Well, listen, I appreciate that. Everybody go to the link right now and get your bank system, unlock your vault, and get in there and start studying, start understanding this different language, this language of personality, the language of sales. We're all different. We have strengths, we have weaknesses, we have things that turn us off. I was talking to someone today and they couldn't, I was talking to them on the phone and I I just asked a question, and they felt like they needed to give me all this information. And I was in a buying mode. I didn't need all the background story. I knew what I wanted to buy. I just needed that. I simply asked the question, how much is it? Because tell me how much it is. And he started going back into all the benefits. And I'm like, stop. Just stop. You don't need to sell me. I get it. Tell me how much it is. And he went back into all those benefits again. I'm like, dude, I'm going to go buy it somewhere else. This is what I said to him. I'm going to ask you one more time. If you don't give me the right answer, I'm going to go buy it somewhere else, because there's a lot of places that sell what I'm after. How much is it? And he started down a path. He says, well, we got it on sale right now. I'm like, dude, sorry. Appreciate you. I'm out. I'm done. And I hung up, because I literally just needed the answer so that I could gauge in my head if that was, I was on my way. I was just going to go buy it. So it's amazing how different personalities, I just want the information I need so I can make the decision so I can move ahead.
Yeah.
And that's how my personality works. So
it's fascinating stuff. So guys, I really appreciate you. One of you guys typed in the Q&A panel that only I can see, what's the access code when you're trying to crack your code? Well, you go to crackmycode.com/Viv. Make sure you put /Viv. And that's how we track it back to Viv, right? So Viv is actually going to be cracking the codes of every single person on the team so that they actually know who's our distributor base, what are their bank codes, and how they should communicate differently with you guys. And then, of course, once you subscribe, then you're going to get to set up your own access code. And then from then on, you're going to send them to crackmycode.com/your access code. And that's how you capture all the leads, okay? So you're welcome, Michelle, Cindy, Christine, Kat, Bill, everybody. I'm happy to share it with you. And for those of you that are watching this on replay, I mean, this stuff's no-brainerville. And the company's working on some really cool stuff behind the scenes for those of you that said yes to the program and are opting in. I mean, this is how they find their leadership too, is who are the people who really want to invest in this type of stuff, right? Viv needs to be an expert at the Viv product line. We are the expert in the 4 R's: revenue, recruiting, rank, retention, using the bank methodology, and we're the best in the world at it. So let us be the partner company that optimizes you guys, and we're happy to do it. So thank you guys. And for those of you leaders that not only adopt it, but say, hey, I want to get my whole team on it. Like when I set up my team and they were joining, I would have them budget, here's money for the product, and here's money to optimize you and your business. If you want to grow this business and make money, then here's the training program I'm going to recommend you sign up for. And boom. And by the way, let me give you one last link, whytheybuy.com, if you guys want the book. So this book right here, if you have not read this book, this is like, I used to buy Rich Dad Poor Dad by the case, right? Like their company used to ship me cases of books because every time someone signed up on my team, boom, I gave them a book. So if you guys want people using the system and totally optimizing it, there's Robert's copy. Go order the book, and this is the only place you can get the book and the cards. Okay, on the other websites, you can't even order the cards or the book or anything. So if you want to go get the book and order the cards, you can add this to your order. You can buy a digital book if you want to just download it, read the PDF, or you can buy the hard copy and we'll physically mail you the book. It's a legit book. And you can add the cards to your order, and that way you can actually get these physically and interact with them with your groups.
Awesome. Love it. Well, thank you so much, Cheri. Appreciate you taking of your time. I mean, I don't think anybody really realizes how busy you are and how much we appreciate you taking of your time to be on our In the Know. Next week, my friends, is all about income producing activities. We're going to have some special guests because I will be on the road. My son gets married this week, so I am off.
Awesome.
I'm flying out on Wednesday to go participate in my son's wedding, my first child to get married. So it's a very
that's amazing. Congratulations, Robert.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then I'm off to Dallas. Next week we have Weatherford, Texas on Tuesday, and on Monday night we have another Dallas event. So make sure you jump on the calendar and find out where those are. I'll be on the road in Texas next week. And then we've got a team brewing in Arizona. So be watching for that. We're going to be doing some Arizona stuff coming up. So with that, my friends, have a great night. Look forward to your success, and be awesome. Have a great week, and go out and hit your numbers, hit your goals. Talk soon.
Take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank. Ciao.